Yesterday and today, at a time when the global economy continues to experience shifting trade relations and supply chains, heightened geopolitical tensions, and policy uncertainty. Despite these challenges, the global economy was resilient in 2025, supported by digital innovation, fiscal and monetary policy, as well as increased private sector adaptation. Domestically, when presenting the 2026-27 budget speech, the Vice President and Minister of Finance stated that the overall budget deficit for 2025-2026 financial year was revised upwards, mainly due to a shortfall in mineral revenues, as the diamond market continues to remain subdued. The Vice President stated that the government has embarked on a fiscal consolidation program aimed at strengthening short to medium-term fiscal sustainability to mitigate these challenges. He observed that these efforts are yielding positive results, including improved mobilization and prudent management of public resources, enhanced tax administration, stronger revenue collection, and efficiency-focused expenditure reforms. On the economic environment, real gross domestic product grew by 0.1% in the 12 months to September 2025, marking a modest recovery from the 1.7% contraction in the corresponding period of 2024. The recovery was largely supported by growth in non-mining activities. Nonetheless, while the turnaround signals stabilization of economic activity, the pace of growth remains weak and fragile. According to the January 2026 International Monetary Fund World Economic Outlook Update, global economic growth is expected to remain subdued at 3.3% in 2026, unchanged from 2025. The modest growth is underpinned by resilient consumption and investment, while heightened policy uncertainty, particularly surrounding trade, industrial and fiscal policies, continues to weigh down on growth prospects. For Botswana, the Ministry of Finance projects an economic contraction of 0.4% in 2025, mainly on account of the continued weak performance of the diamond mining sector due to increased global economic uncertainty and evolving consumer preferences. However, the economy is expected to recover in 2026 with projected 3.1% growth. The recovery is anticipated to be driven primarily by expected stronger performance in the non-mining sectors, supported by the effective implementation of economic diversification initiatives under the National Development Plan 12 and the Botswana Economic Transformation Program. Nevertheless, the growth outlook remains subject to downside risks, such as disease outbreaks, heightened geopolitical tensions, climate-related shocks, and shifting trade patterns. On inflation, headline inflation increased slightly from 3.9% in December 2025 to 4.1% in January 2026, remaining within the medium-term objective range of 3 to 6%. The increase in inflation was attributable to a higher rate of price increases for food and health services. The Monetary Policy Committee forecast inflation to increase into the medium term, averaging 4.5% in 2026 and 4.7% in 2027. Overall, there is a greater risk of inflation being higher than currently projected, mainly due to the proposed increases in electricity tariffs by the Botswana Power Corporation in April 2026. which would have a notable inflationary impact if it materializes. The anticipated increase in public transport fares is also expected to be inflationary. In addition, the outbreak of the foot and mouth disease in Botswana in January 2026 and the resultant disease management measures through livestock movement and slaughter restrictions, albeit the recent easing to allow for abattoir slaughtering mainly, may lead to higher food inflation. Furthermore, the proposed reduction in VAT zero-rated items in the 2026-2027 budget may lead to higher inflation. Externally, international consumer or commodity prices could rise above current forecasts, and logistical constraints may persist. The effect of trade tariff increases globally is also expected to heighten